Have you ever noticed how the world holds its breath just before a profound change? That peculiar stillness in the air moments before a summer storm, when the leaves show you their silver undersides and the scent of ozone promises a cleansing rain. What if the silence you've been sitting in, the one that has felt so much like absence, is actually that same pregnant pause? What if it's not an ending, but the world around you, the very universe itself, holding its breath for you? Let's be honest, the path of the twin flame can feel less like a sacred journey and more like a cosmic joke sometimes, where the punchline is always just out of reach. You've navigated the dizzying heights and the crushing lows, often wondering if you are following a path or just chasing a beautifully painful illusion. But something is different now, isn't it? It's a subtle shift, like the first faint chill that whispers through the late summer heat, a silent promise that the leaves will soon blaze with color. This autumn equinox is not merely a date on a calendar. It is a cosmological tipping point, a hinge upon which a much larger door is beginning to swing open. The balance of light and dark it offers isn't just a celestial event. It's an invitation for your own inner world to find its equilibrium, creating a foundation so stable that what comes next can land with grace, not chaos. This isn't about waiting for a thunderclap or a dramatic sign. The real shift is far more intimate, happening in the quiet spaces of your own spirit. It's a recalibration of your very frequency, moving you from a longing that aches to a knowing that anchors. Can you feel it? A new sense of clarity, as if a fog you didn't even realize was there is beginning to lift, revealing a landscape you always knew was there, but are finally able to see with your own eyes. The universe is setting the stage, not with fanfare, but with a profound and gentle precision, aligning the unseen forces in your favor. And the most important part, you are not a passenger on this journey anymore. You are the one holding the compass, and the needle is starting to spin with a purpose you can finally trust. What if you could lean into that trust just for a moment and see what answers you find? Let's talk about the silence. Not the peaceful, meditative kind you might be striving for, but the other one. The one that has kept you company on some of your loneliest nights. The silence from him. You've probably tried to fill it with analysis, with tears, with hopeful manifesting, or maybe just with the low, constant hum of anxiety. What if I told you that this very silence is not an empty void, but a sacred, fertile ground? And that the most powerful thing you can do right now is absolutely nothing. Well, not nothing, but a very specific, potent kind of nothing. It's the kind of nothing a master sculptor employs when they step back from the marble, chisel still, to simply observe the form emerging from the stone. They aren't idle, they are in a state of profound, receptive knowing. This, beloved soul, is the state of sacred stillness. And this autumn equinox, with its perfect fleeting balance between light and dark, is turning your stillness into a frequency so pure, so magnetic, that it can finally pierce the internal chaos of your divine masculine. You see, we often misunderstand this retreat. We label it running, and we take it personally. But have you ever been in a room so loud, with music, chatter, and television all blaring at once, that the only way to hear your own thought is to walk out, to find a closet, shut the door, and sit in the dark just to remember what quiet sounds like. That's where he has been. His inner world is that cacophonous room. It's filled with the noise of societal expectations, the static of unhealed wounds, the loud, clattering demands of an ego that's trying desperately to hold it all together. His silence towards you was never a rejection of your light. It was a physiological and spiritual necessity to even have a chance at hearing the whisper of his own soul. And here's the beautiful, almost mischievous magic the equinox is playing. While he's been in that closet, you've been outside, in the garden, doing your work. You've been weathering your own storms, pulling the weeds of your insecurities, and learning to sit in the sun of your own worth. At first, you were probably screaming your love, your pain, your promises through the door. But eventually, you grew tired. You sat down, you started to breathe, and in that breathing, you found a rhythm. Your heart settled into a new, steady beat. This, right here, is the frequency he needs to hear. Think of it as energetic osmosis. I've always loved that term. It sounds so scientific for something so divine. Imagine two rooms sharing a wall. Your room was once also chaotic, but you've tidied it. You've lit a candle. You're sitting quietly, reading a book, and your contentment is a soft, warm hum. His room next door is still a mess. Clothes on the floor, drawers hanging open, the TV on a fuzzy channel. He's pacing, frustrated, but then the universal energies of this equinox thin the wall between you. Doesn't knock the wall down, it just makes it more permeable. And for the first time, through the chaos of his own noise, he catches the faint, unmistakable scent of your candle. He hears the quiet turning of a page. He feels the vibration of your calm. He doesn't intellectually understand it. He can't name it. But something in his spirit, something ancient and homesick, recognizes it. It feels like a memory of a place he's never been. It's the vibration of home. And this is the critical shift. He is no longer running from a perceived source of overwhelming feeling, which, let's be honest, the intensity of this connection can feel like. He is being drawn toward a source of profound peace. Your achieved stillness becomes a lighthouse, and his soul is the ship in a turbulent sea. The lighthouse doesn't chase the ship. It doesn't send out frantic rescue boats. It simply stands unwavering, emitting a constant, reliable beam. And that beam is what guides the ship home. This is the opposite of what we're taught. We're taught to fight for love, to prove our worth, to make ourselves seen and heard. But this journey, this ridiculous, beautiful, frustrating twin flame journey, it turns all that on its head. Your greatest power lies not in the force of your pursuit, but in the depth of your surrender. Not a surrender of defeat, but a surrender into the absolute, knowing that you are already whole. And when you emanate that wholeness, you become a tuning fork for his own. His heart, often described as being in a state of hibernation, isn't dead. It's waiting for the right season to awaken. Your peace is the first warm day after a long winter. So the next time you feel the ache of the silence, I want you to try something radical. Instead of reaching for your phone or your journal to dissect the pain, just stop, place your hand on your heart. Feel its rhythm and smile a little, knowing that your very existence in this state of calm acceptance is the most loving, powerful message you could ever send him. It's a message written in a language older than words, delivered not through the unreliable postal service of the 3D world, but through the sacred, instantaneous mailroom of the soul. And you know what the funniest part of all this is? While you're over here mastering the art of sacred stillness, thinking you're just healing yourself, you're actually setting the stage for a reunion that will feel less like a dramatic movie scene and more like the most natural thing in the world. But that's a conversation for another time. A conversation about what happens when he finally emerges from that closet, blinking in the light, and how the simple, miraculous act of genuine gratitude might just be the final key that locks the door on separation for good. Let's be real for a second. If one more well-meaning person had told you, in the thick of it, in the raw, gut-wrenching pain of the separation, to just be grateful for the lesson, you might have, understandably, wanted to throw your crystal at them. Gratitude can feel like a spiritual bypass, a flimsy band-aid offered for a wound that feels like it needs major soul surgery. I get it, but what I'm talking about isn't that. This isn't about slapping a polite thank you over a festering wound. This is about something far more profound, far more alchemical. This is about the gratitude that comes after the healing, the gratitude that isn't a forced affirmation, but a spontaneous, overflowing recognition of a divine pattern you were too close to see before. This, right here, is the secret frequency of harvest. The autumn equinox is, at its core, a cosmic harvest festival. And what does any wise farmer know? You don't get to harvest what you didn't plant and nurture with appreciation. For so long, you've been planting seeds of love, of hope, of healing, but if your energy has been rooted in the desperate, aching lack of him, when will he return? Why is this happening? Then you've been, in a vibrational sense, watering your field with anxiety. You've been trying to grow a sunflower with a storm cloud hovering directly overhead. This shift, this monumental equinox energy, is inviting you to change the very weather pattern of your soul. Think of your journey not as a linear path from point A, separation, to point B, union, but as a master sculptor creating a masterpiece. The separation wasn't an empty, barren period. It was the phase where the block of marble was delivered to your studio. It was heavy, unwieldy, and frankly, it looked nothing like the vision you held in your heart. The chaos, the pain, the triggers, those were the initial strikes of the hammer and chisel. They were loud, jarring, and it felt like you were just breaking things, creating a mess. You couldn't see the form emerging because you were covered in the dust of your own deconstruction. But now you're stepping back. The dust is settling, and you're beginning to see the contours of something breathtaking. That deep groove there, the one that caused you so much pain, it carved out the space for a profound capacity for compassion you never knew you had. That seemingly random chip over there, it allowed for the light to hit the finished piece in a way that creates a stunning, unexpected highlight. Gratitude in this context isn't about being thankful for the hammer blows themselves. It's about standing in awe of the sculpture they made possible. It's looking at your own reflection, stronger, wiser, more radiant, and whispering, "Oh, I see now. I needed to be carved open to hold this much light." This is the gratitude frequency. It's the vibration of completion. It's you sending a thank you note to the universe for the entire curriculum, not just the pleasant chapters. When you emit this frequency, you are essentially sending a cosmic receipt back to source, stamped lesson integrated, process complete. You're no longer a student struggling with the test. You are the graduate, fondly remembering the teachers, even the tough ones, who prepared you for this moment. And the universe, in its impeccable order, responds to this signal. It perceives your gratitude not as a want, but as a declaration of a fulfilled need. Why would it keep you in a classroom you've already graduated from? So, how do you tap into this? It's not about making a list of things you should be grateful for. It's quieter than that. It's in the moment you catch yourself reacting differently to an old trigger, and a smile touches your lips because you realize how far you've come. It's when you feel a genuine wave of compassion for his journey without a shred of resentment. It's the deep, soul-level knowing that if you had to choose between an easy, superficial connection with someone else and this profound, transformative path with him, you'd choose the path every single time, scars and all. That's the alchemy. You're not just tolerating the past, you're genuinely valuing it for the gold it forged in you. This grateful vibration is the most powerful magnet there is because it's rooted in wholeness, not lack. You're not pulling him to you to complete you. You're inviting him to join you in a celebration of a journey you've already bravely, mostly walked. And that invitation, issued from a heart that has made peace with its own story, is utterly irresistible. And the most fascinating part? This shift doesn't just change your energy, it begins to rewrite the very story of your connection, preparing a landing space so soft and welcoming that the final reunion feels less like a dramatic movie-style climax and more like the most natural, quiet, and utterly inevitable homecoming. But how do you practically prepare for that landing? Well, that's a conversation about the quiet art of receiving, a skill far more subtle and in some ways more challenging than the fierce work of healing you've already mastered. So here you are, standing at the threshold of not just a new season, but a new way of being. And I need you to understand something crucial, something that often gets lost in the frantic search for a happy ending. This isn't about an arrival. This is about an attunement. You've spent so long feeling like a lone violin, playing a heartbreakingly beautiful melody into an empty concert hall, waiting for the cello to finally join in. What you're beginning to sense now is that the cello was always there in a different room, practicing its own difficult passages, learning to harmonize with a score it couldn't yet fully see. This equinox hasn't simply brought him closer, it has adjusted the acoustics of the universe itself. The walls between those rooms have become porous, not as a flimsy illusion, but like the finely crafted screen in a recording studio, allowing the pure, essential frequencies to pass through while softening the harshness of individual noise. for the first time, you're not just playing your own part, you're beginning to hear the entirety of the symphony. Your stillness allowed you to master your notes. Your gratitude allowed you to appreciate the composition itself, even in its unfinished state. And now you are becoming the conductor of your shared reality, not with a baton of control, but with the gentle, unwavering focus of your heart. This is the great secret they don't tell you. Union is not a frantic race toward a finish line where you collapse into each other's arms. It is a quiet, deliberate walk toward a shared horizon that expands with every step you take together. It's the difference between seeking a shelter from the storm and realizing you have slowly, patiently built a home so strong that it can weather any weather. A home with a welcome mat out for the one whose soul signature matches your own. The longing you feel, don't mistake it for absence. See it as the magnetic pull of a future that is already written in the language of your DNA. It's the gravitational force of a star toward its planet, an inevitable cosmic dance that cannot be rushed, only surrendered to. The work you have done has not been to earn this love. It has been to expand your capacity to hold it, to cherish it, and to never again confuse its sacred fire with the fleeting spark of a lesser flame. You are not being prepared for a reunion. You are being refined for a revelation. And what a revelation it will be. It won't be the dramatic, movie score swelling moment you might have imagined. It will be quieter, more profound. It will be in the effortless way a conversation picks up after years, as if no time passed at all. It will be in the peace that settles over you, not as a novelty, but as a familiar truth you both remember at once. It will feel less like finding a missing piece, and more like remembering a language you both spoke in a dream, a language where every glance is a paragraph, and every touch is a poem you co-author. You have navigated the wilderness of your own soul. You have earned the maps, etched with your tears and your triumphs. Now, the path forward is not about searching, but about recognizing. It's about understanding that the love you sought was never outside of you. It was the very light you used to illuminate your own darkness. And when you meet again, it will be the joyful recognition of two whole constellations, remembering they are part of the same magnificent galaxy. This is your invitation to stop waiting for the symphony to begin and to start dancing to the music that is already playing. The curtain isn't about to rise, my dear soul. It was never closed in the first place. You are just learning how to see in the new light. And this light, it reveals everything, especially the beautiful, practical magic of what happens when two tuned hearts finally decide to build a reality together. But that, perhaps, is a conversation for when you've had a moment to simply breathe in this new dawn.